All right, I just want to talk about Rarity Collection 2. Look, I fixed Rarity Collection 2. I fixed it in about a half an hour. Took me a half an hour and I fixed it. I fixed it for everybody and everybody's going to be happy with it. Look, when you look at Rarity Collection 2, it's really not a bad set. I know people are bashing it as a bad set. It's a bad set when you compare it to Rarity Collection 1. It's a bad set when you talk about the price of Rarity Collection 2. When you talk about the price and you compare it to Rarity Collection 1, it becomes a bad set. In and of itself, it's not a bad set. And it was never going to meet the hype of Rarity Collection 1 because the cards that were printed in Rarity Collection 1, they're the top end of the cards. There's only one Ash Blossom. There's only one Imperm. There's only one Triple Tactics talent. There's only one Pot of Prosperity, Forbidden Droplet, Effect Veiler, Nibiru. You can go on and on about these cards in Rarity Collection 1. That's why it was so amazing. So what did Rarity Collection 2 have to do to be able to be even somewhat comparable to Rarity Collection 1? Well, it's not that hard. You don't have the top end cards. You can't reprint those again. So what you have to do is you have to nail the middle tier cards. You have to nail them. You've got to get a lot of them in there. You can't divide the set in thirds and have a third of it being pretty good and another third of it being decent cards and then another third of it being junk. If you don't have the top end cards, you've got to make that middle section the majority of the set. And it's not that hard to do. I did it in a half an hour. It's really not that hard to do. They could have easily done this. This is why I said it at the end of my last video, expect Rarity Collection 3. If you're not planning for Rarity Collection 3, this is super easy to do. You just shoot these cards in there and it fixes it immediately. I figured out that there's 3 problems with Rarity Collection 2. And the first problem is that there's cards printed in here that there would have been a better option. The second, a better option, by what I mean by better option is a better option that does the same thing as that card, not just another card. And then the second problem with Rarity Collection 2 is that it reprinted some cards in here that probably should have been reprinted in Battles of Legend rather than Rarity Collection 2. We did not need 7 different rarities of these cards. These cards do not celebrate the 25 years of Yu-Gi-Oh! Therefore, they should not be in Rarity Collection 2. Did they need a reprint? Yes. But they would have been better in Battles of Legend, which is a month away. The third problem that I think you have with Rarity Collection 2 is that it just puts some cards in there that just don't belong in there. And those are the 3 categories that I'm going to break it down with. So I'm going to bring you over to a little slideshow that I made yesterday just to get the cards up there. But my name is Todd from Code2 Cards. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button. We are breaking down every Yu-Gi-Oh set that's coming out. Should you buy? When should you buy? All of that stuff. We pre-sell on eBay. We are sellers of these cards. But we are also trying to give you an honest look from a seller's perspective of what is going on and why it's happening. So it's a little different perspective than you generally get out there. So again, if you like what we're doing, hit that subscribe button. Also, the like button does help us out tremendously. Let me bring you over there and we will go from there. All right, so this is Rarity Collection 2. This is the first slide. And the first thing that I want to talk about is cards that there would have been a better choice. So, for example, you have Rafflesia in here. which is great for Trap Tricks players. I used to play the deck. I'm a fan of the deck. I'm happy for people who play the deck. But anybody who plays the deck knows that what you really want is 7 different rarities of Sarah. You already have a high rarity of Rafflesia, but you don't have a higher rarity of Sarah. Like I said on the first video, that is the obvious choice. It should have been Sarah. They missed the boat. Change it from Rafflesia to Sarah. By the way, I have 16 changes. You make 16 changes, and this set is worth buying. So that's the first one. The second change is instead of Forbidden Lance, which is a fine card, just make it Chalice. More people play Chalice. Chalice is relevant in the game more than Lance is. I think most people would have preferred Chalice over Lance. I know it's a small change, but take out Lance, put in Chalice, it makes it better. The third change is take out Rite of Preparations. I know why they put it in there. They put pre-prep in there, so they're going to put Rite in there. Take that out and give us Diviner, the card that we really want. You make those 3 changes, which is a 1-for-1 card, and it's infinitely better already. You got Diviner, you got Sarah, and you got Chalice, rather than Lance, Rafflesia, and Preparation of Rites. That is a much better 3 cards than what they gave us. The second area where they messed up is they put cards in here that they should have reprinted in Battles of Legend. Now, I know if you play these decks, you're not going to be happy with what I'm saying. Get over it. Like, you know your cards should have not been printed in this set. You know they should have been reprinted in Battles of Legend. The first one, the Pearly cards. The Pearly cards should not be in here because Pearly is not an archetype that is like so great that it honors the 25 years of Yu-Gi-Oh! This is a new archetype. It was really relevant for a short period of time. It did not need to be reprinted in here. You should have reprinted these cards in Battles of Legend. That would have been a fine place to do it, and not in here. So what would you print in here instead? How about 3 of the Bestials? Take out the Pearly cards, put the Bestials in there, and there you go. Boom. Most people would prefer the Bestials to the Pearly cards, and you know I'm right. The next cards that shouldn't be in here is Unchained. Again, Unchained is not a deck that is worthy of being in Rarity Collection 2 as a celebration of 25 years of Yu-Gi-Oh! It's not. It's a great deck. I love that these cards are being reprinted. They should have been reprinted. They should be reprinted in Battles of Legend. You do not need 7 rarities of Soul of Rage. You don't. These are going to sit there as a waste. You did not need them. So what would you put in their place? Well, I can think of 2 cards that you could put in their place very easily. Winda and Yubel. Put in Yubel and put in Winda, and that's a win. The community is super happy. I honestly think the community would be way happier with Winda and Yubel than with the Unchained cards. Specifically, if you're getting the Unchained cards a month later in Battles of Legend. Again, I'm not saying they didn't need a reprint. I'm not saying Unchained is a bad deck and it shouldn't get any support. I'm just saying it didn't need to be in Rarity Collection 2. The third set of cards that did not need to be in Rarity Collection 2, and probably the biggest offender, is Exosister. Exosister is not a deck that celebrates the 25 years of Yu-Gi-Oh! It's not. It barely made a ding in the TCG at all. I like the deck. I'm glad that Magnifica is getting a reprint. It was an expensive card. I'm glad that Pax is getting a reprint. It's an essential card to the deck. I get all that. Take those 2 cards out and put Fenrir and Unicorn in there. Now are you happy? Now we took out the Pearly, we took out the Unchained, we took out the Exosisters, and we replaced them with 3 Bestials. You can do Magnahut, you can do Sarnair, you can do Druis Worm. So we put the 3 Bestials in there, we put Yubel in there, we put Winda in there, and we put Fenrir and Unicorn in there. That's way better. You know it's better. You know that I am infinitely making Rarity Collection 2 very good. And I did it in a half an hour. It really didn't take too long. Now you got 6 cards that I think have just kind of no business being in Rarity Collection 2. The first one is Sol and Luna. We all know this. This is ridiculous. TG Hyper Librarian does not deserve to be in here. Boral Len does not deserve to be in here. Enemy Controller should not be in here. It does deserve to be in here, but you just gave it an ultimate rare, so I'm saying it should not be reprinted in here. I wish you wouldn't have gave it an ultimate rare. You would have gave something else an ultimate rare and then put it in here. That would have been fantastic. But you did give it an ultimate rare, so it doesn't belong in here now. Aluber doesn't belong in here, and Rehoboam does not belong in here either. So that's 6 cards. If you take those 6 cards out and you replace them with the next 6 cards, I effectively fixed Rarity Collection 2. Now, I fixed Rarity Collection 2 without hurting the tins at all. I'm not putting one single card that should be reprinted in this year's tins at all in here. So, and I've been on the record to say none of these new cards should be printed in Rarity Collection 2. They shouldn't. They should be printed in the tins. And I've been faithful to that. Here's the 6 cards that's going to replace the garbage that I just gave you. 6 cards. Triple Tactics Thrust. Slide it in, take out Soul of Luna. Take out TG Hyper Librarian and put Pankertops in here. Take out Borrowland and put Upstart Goblin in here. Take out Enemy Controller and put Snatch Steel in here. Take out Aluber and put Totally Awesome in here. You have water support right around the corner. Totally Awesome is going to be a great reprint. And take out Rehoboam and put Danger Bigfoot in there. And I still had extra cards to play with. I still had Relinquished Enema. I still had F-Zero. I still had Nightmare Phoenix. I still had Signet Mining. I still had all kinds of Gamacil, which I think the Kaiju still should have been in here rather than where they were reprinted. I've got all kind of cards that you can slide in here. But if you take out those 16 cards and you add in Sarah, Chalice, Diviner, 3 Bestials, Yubel, Winda, Fenrir, Unicorn, Triple Tactics Thrust, Pankertops, Upstart Goblin, Snatch Steel, Totally Awesome, and Danger Bigfoot, it is now a set that has monopolized that middle section. And that's what it needed to do. It does not have Ash Blossom, it doesn't have Imperm, it doesn't have Pot of Prosperity, but it can monopolize the middle section, and that's what you needed it to do, and that's what Rarity Collection 2 failed to do. I just gave you a Rarity Collection 2 that monopolizes the middle, trims out the bottom. By the way, I still gave you all the planets. I still gave you the Blue Eyes cards. I still gave you I still gave you Trishula. Tons of cards that are in that bottom tier. The Rescue Rabbit, the Rescue Cat. I still gave you the Hamster. Because I do think that these older cards, this is what this is for, to celebrate the history of Yu-Gi-Oh! The old history and the new history. Sol and Luna, Rehoboam, Borrowland, TG, like these cards are not it. You can fix Rarity Collection 2. This is what they should have done. This is how you would have fixed it. The reason they didn't do it, though, is pretty clear. There is almost 100% going to be a Rarity Collection 3. That's what I've got for you today. I fixed Rarity Collection 3. Give me your comments. Tell me what you think of my fixes. Come at me. I'm ready to go. I'm super excited about it. Now, is this still a good set? It's a fine set. It's the price tag that makes it not a great set. It's the price tag. If they wouldn't have messed around with the price tag, would it have been a fine set? It wouldn't have been Rarity Collection 1, but it would have been a fine set. But when you increase the price and the product diminishes, that's a real problem. And I think Rarity Collection 2 has a real problem. The last thing I want to say on this is that when people realize the problem of Rarity Collection 2 is that price, and they stop buying it or they don't buy it at all, beware. What that's going to do is it's going to drive the price of the singles up. Don't be surprised if buying these cards later on is more expensive than buying the cards from Rarity Collection 1. That's what I got from you today. My name is Todd from Coach 2 Cards, and I am out of here.